job to try and set things up for her. Anna Shackley for SD Works, not going to do anything, looks around. It's now up to her to defend for Demi Vollering. So watch out for those attacks coming a little bit further down the group. Lippert looks around at Vollering. Just watch for anyone coming a little bit further down the group that might take an absolute flyer out of this group. Fem van Empel is in there wearing 86. Fem van Empel has got a good kick on her. She could fancy her chances of a stage win out of this group. She's just got to keep the legs as fresh as she can.
Yeah, anyone that knows they're fast in a sprint doesn't have to bother with any of the attacking now, can just follow and make sure other people chase. There's plenty of riders willing to close that gaps when those gaps were needed. Here is this interesting moment that you spoke about earlier. Cassie Niewiadoma and Marlon Royce are marking each other, having little conversations at the back here. What's going on here?
So basically what we can say is that all Marlon is doing is keeping an eye on Cassie Niewiadoma to make sure that if she attacks, that she is right with her.
Yeah. Again for SD Works. So Anna Shackley's really impressed this race. She was away in a breakaway coming into the final summit climb yesterday and still had a good finishing position, finishing in the top 10 overall and up there in the young riders classification. So marking these moves nicely here, the young Brit. We're all just coming back together now. Yep, Demi Vollering is there in that yellow jersey.
Niewiadoma's managed to get herself behind Marlon Royce down the back of the group. So we've got two races going on here.
Yeah.
That's an achievement. We've got everyone attacking at the front, and then at the back of the group we've got riders manoeuvring themselves around to launch a move from the as far down the group as they can.
Yeah, well, you spoke about like stealth attacks and sort of being able to go under the radar a little bit. And Cassie Niewiadoma, unfortunately, is not going to have that opportunity whatsoever with Marlon Royce and marking her like this. So just both of these riders at the back of the group. Look, Cassie looking around again. Still on my wheel, Marlon.
You'd love to know. We'd love to have a little mic go on that one.
Well,
Juliet Lapis attacks at the front as Cassie Niewiadoma and Marlon Royce are having a staring match down the back of the group. Antonia Niedermeyer, the rider from Canyon-SRAM here, that's just closing up to Juliet Labus. And this group have got to be aware of Juliet being only 27 seconds down in the general classification. She sits 4th overall at 27 seconds, the DSM Feminin rider. There's that 10, 6 and 4 seconds on the line. So SD Works have got to keep an eye on her. It looked like a big attack here going in from... Here's the rider that chases her down. Vollering's dropping down through the group, the yellow jersey. So the kilometres ticking off quickly here on this descent. Any rise, any opportunity, any corners that they have, they're launching moves out of them. Royce moves up for SD Works. We've seen them defend like this throughout the year, and then they'll shift into attacking mode. So maybe as the back end of this stage goes on, we might see an attack from Marlon Royce. Looking around this group at the fast finishers, Cecilia Trupp-Ludwig, looking that she's moving up. She's got a good finish out, you would say, out of a group like this. Sylvia Persico, Liana Lippert, Fem van Empel would also feel that she could out-sprint a group like this at the finish as well. Ashley Moorman-Passio's been sprinting well from small groups like this as well this season. Is this Anna Shackley? So SD Works shift into attack mode because they're going after, is it Esme Pepperkamp from DSM Feminin? So the DSM jerseys on the attack. Shackley just controlling this one. Shackley would be given the opportunity, if she could creep into a group, to go clear. Rosita Reinhardt from Jumbo-Visma closes that down, looks back at Paola Patino. So the Scottish rider from SD Works on the front with Pepperkamp.
I am just waiting for a big Marlon Royce move inside this last 10k. I think she's sat back in this group. She's bided her time. She's kept an eye on Cassie Niewiadoma, who she knows does like to make an attack or 10. in these sort of situations. But now she's coming towards the front, and you can see her starting to follow some of these moves. So I'm just thinking, is she going to counter one of these attacks, just biding her time, waiting for a point in time where she knows that Demi Vollering is safe for the overall, and she can make her move.
Cassia's also got to keep an eye on Marlon in terms of that second place on the GC.
Just as I said that, yeah, she's only 12 seconds down on the yellow jersey, Demi Vollering, and I think Demi Vollering wouldn't mind if it were Marlon Royce to win the stage and win the overall. I think that would be okay within the team. But here comes another big attack from Canyon-SRAM.
Ricarda Bauernfeind a little bit further down the group. As we said, the Queen of Stealth.
Yeah.
We're nicknaming Ricarda Bauernfeind, and Patino just has to look around. Just the SD Works have got such numbers in this group that you do have to just point to them. Patino has got Lippert. She can just be concerned with her. Ricarda Bauernfeind, nicely timed move, a little bit further down the group, just taking that element of surprise.
Let's see a wider shot here, see what sort of gap she's got. If anybody's doing the chasing, it really should be SD Works in this situation. But there are a lot of riders. Keen's really desperate to try and get a win here today. A lot of riders that haven't had a World Tour win this season. A lot of teams that are desperate to finish the season on a high here in Europe. Might not be making the travel out to China in October. See what gap she's got soon, hopefully.
Minute and 16 down in the general classification is Ricarda Bauernfeind. Started today in 7th overall. So SD Works have got a bit to play with in terms of the 23-year-old German rider that Canyon-SRAM have really invested in both Ricarda Bauernfeind and Antonia Niedermeyer this season. And this is a very similar move to what we saw in the Tour de France Femme, Alex Zwift. And it's Reusser and Shackley that are on the front. Ricarda Bauernfeind is a phenomenal time trialist as well, is the German rider. This is danger moment here for SD Works, and the rest of this group are looking around at SD Works to do the chasing. Bauernfeind has been the German under-23 time trial champion. She's medalled in the under-23 worlds in the time trial, and it's Reusser that is attacking on the front, and multiple Canyon-SRAM riders in this group can now go on the defensive and just cover the moves.
They certainly can. So as we were saying, SD Works, that the onus is on them to do the chasing, and Marlon Reusser now is being very much put to work on the front. She's an incredibly strong rider, but the gap for Ricarda Bauernfeind, 12 seconds, that is the biggest gap we've seen anybody get in this run in to the finish. We've seen attack after attack. It's been a relentless last sort of 30k of racing since the summit of that previous climb. But pretty much everyone has had a go, but this is the first time any serious gap has come about. And she has, of course, got teammates back here who can relax and just follow for now.
It's been relentless for 3 days, this race, hasn't it?
Yes, yeah. I mean, day one was just attack after attack. Day two, mountaintop finish, but still attacks going into that final climb. And our final day, last Women's World Tour race of 2023 on European soil.
What a season it's been. It's been just a step up. And I think when you look at this season, look at how Marlon Royce has gone from, as we really just were pigeonhole her as a time trialist, with classic victories, with riders like Ricarda Bauernfeind here with a Tour de France Femme stage win, Antonia Niedermeyer, her teammate, with a Giro stage win, riders like Yara Castelline, Gaia Realini, really stepping up this season. And then we've really had the dominance of Demi Vollering throughout the season, and coming to that end of the Annemiek van Vleuten era as well.
Yeah, it's been that sort of interesting changing of the guard between Annemiek van Vleuten's dominance last season to suddenly Demi Vollering's dominance this season. But it's not been just a case of Demi Vollering winning every race that SD Works have been in. They've had wins, like you say, Marlon Reusser in classics, in Gent-Wevelgem, in stage races. They've had wins for, I think, pretty much every rider on their team has been able to take a win this year. It's been actually a wide variety of wins for SD Works. And of course, Lotte Kopecky won the Simac Ladies Tour and the World Championship. So yeah, phenomenal.
I think what's been interesting as well is watching, especially from, it seemed like it's Zulia when Marlon Reusser won the stage there and then went on to win the overall, taking the yellow jersey away from Demi Vollering, is the way she's learned to become a leader this year. And in terms of, not gifting's the wrong word, but being able to lose in order to win for the team. It's being able to give up a yellow jersey so that Marlon Reusser will sacrifice herself, or Lotte Kopecky will sacrifice herself, or Lorena Wiebes will do the same. And you know, being part of the lead-outs for Lorena Wiebes and learning to become a leader. So Marlon Reusser has done a big effort here, looks back, will stare right into the face of Kasia Niewiadoma. Demi Vollering deciding now to go on the attack. The best form of defense is attack, and it's the yellow jersey that comes over the top of her teammate and is the rider that closes down here to Ricarda Bauernfeind, who will be the next Canyon-SRAM rider to go. Kasia Niewiadoma looked like she was just winding up maybe to go over the top. Canyon-SRAM looks back, has a word with the teammates.
Well, Demi Vollering flicked her elbow there as she came up behind Ricarda Bauernfeind. I'm not sure who she thought was going to come through and give her a turn there, because I don't think anybody else was keen. Once they've seen the power of SD Works to chase this down, they weren't going to give any more turns there to close that gap. So all over there for Ricarda Bauernfeind. Just a little bit of a lull now, but no, Canyon-SRAM are going to go again. Elise
Chabet attacks Esme Pepperkamp right on her little rise. The Swiss rider looking for a win here on home soil. And Vollering's having to do a lot of work. Liana Lippert latches onto the wheel of the yellow jersey. Oh, it's Pepperkamp in a world of pain and suffering here, the DSM Firmenich rider.
Just doing everything she can to follow that attack and just trying to stay on the wheel there. But with just Demi Vollering's just come back up to this group, just on a little bit of a downhill here. 7.4k to go. She's coming to the front, keen to sort of push on and make it sort of a fast enough pace and no one's able to counter these moves.
So some good riders in this group that potentially will feel that they've got the measure of the rest of the group, become a sprint. Nienke Winke there, just at the bottom, who sits fourth overall at 27 seconds. Labus is going to go over the top. There's Cecilie Uttrup-Ludwig, who's also got in here. Paola Patino just coming into the bottom of your screen. Reusser is marking everything. Lippert just talking into the radio a little bit further down the group. 6 kilometers to go in towards the finish. Pepperkamp, next move from DSM Firmenich. Vollering right on the wheel. Gaia Realini is in there for Lidl Trek. Vollering flicks the elbows, looks around. There's Ashley Mormon-Passio, the next rider to go. Just wonder how many of these defensive moves that Demi Vollering's got in her, because we've got we head in towards Crans here, and we do have a descent down to the lake, and then the run up towards the finish.
Yeah, so fast descent as we come in for the final sort of inside the final 5 kilometres as we come into this. It's got quite a steep downhill just inside the final 5k. So this is really fast running now. They've done this twice before already today. We've already had 2 laps of this circuit, so they're very familiar with this run-in. A lot of riders in this group will be fancying their chances. We haven't got any of the big sprint names here. They have been distance on those climbs that we've had already today, all those third category climbs. Huge opportunity for so many riders in this race to try and take a World Tour win this season.
There is indeed. As our next rider goes, it's our Swiss national team jerseys. Move through Crans, through the town. Really digs in on that corner. The group just stretches. Everyone's looking around at each other. So an opportunistic move here with 4.5 kilometers to go. Unit for the Swiss team. And in these World Tour races, we do get a mix. Sometimes they can put a national team in to the race. Tucking it down on the descent. I think this is Leia Fouche that is clear here for the Swiss national team. Oh, it's Steffi Haberlin, my apologies. As we said, we're seeing quite a few of the Swiss national team for the first time. There you have it, there's a number. So Steffi Haberlin is on the attack here for the national team of Switzerland. And the rest of the group will be mindful of letting Steffi Haberlin jump clear. She's 25 years old, is Steffi Haberlin.
Yeah, well known as a mountain bike rider, so been busy with the mountain bike season this year, but now racing on the road and just grabbing these opportunities, and also taking advantage of the fact that she isn't a well-known rider in the road peloton. You know, she's obviously a very strong rider on the mountain bike scene, but perhaps being able to just have that little opportunity for runners just to think, oh, who is that that's gone away? Do we need to chase her? And the answer is certainly yes. Look at this gap here.
And that is the thing about the mountain bike riders from the Swiss national team. When they come into these races, as you said, she is a real class act on the mountain bike, is Steffi Haberlin. So they can't underestimate her, and also underestimate the power that she can hold in this sort of situation. And it's Jumbo-Visma that are on the fronts, trying to bring things back together. Marlon Reusser is sat second wheel. Fem van Empel is in the group. Look at Haberlin go, though, here. Just tucked it down in that national team jersey, looking to try and take a big road career victory if she can. Has she timed this one to perfection? Is it that momentary lull where everyone sits and wonders, I'm not quite sure who that is going? Is she a danger to us? Could she take it potentially all the way to the finish? And this group, this run in towards the finish now, it can be quite chaotic on the run towards the line. As we see the Canyon-SRAM jerseys now moving up. Shackley is there. Antonia Niedermeyer now making a move. Nienke Winke is there. Rosita Reinhardt. Watch out for Persico, Van Empel, those sort of riders. And it's Nienke Winke now for DSM Firmenich. There's the next rider to launch a move. She's done a lot of work today, has the young rider from DSM Firmenich. Good, powerful move. Late one, 19 years old is Nienke Winke. Antonia Niedermeyer brings it back together. She was 7th overall in the recent Tour de l'Avenir. She's been the national champion as a junior in the road race and the time trial. 1.4 kilometers to go. We're looking for the Flamme Rouge. Next move from the back of the group. And it's Esme Pepperkamp of DSM Firmenich. Launches the move from further down. Can she do this final 1 kilometer attack for Esme Pepperkamp? They're looking to try and get something out of this race at DSM Firmenich. They've done a great job in keeping this one and trying to set it up for their leader, Juliette Labousse, Kim Kadzo. And they've got Fem van Empel in this group, have Team Jumbo-Visma. Pepperkamp brought back together. We're looking for the Flamme Rouge. One last move. Canyon-SRAM go. Through these little roundabouts now. There's a few of those. Chabet. If anyone wants to launch one now, this could be the move. This could be the lull. Patino comes through for Movistar, looking to try and set things up for Liana Lippert. Patino on the front. Marlon Reusser, Cassia Niewiadoma, Ashley Mormon-Passio, Liana Lippert, Sylvia Persico is right on the wheel of Liana Lippert. Fem van Empel moves up onto the wheel of Marlon Reusser. The world cyclocross champion Juliette Labousse moves up. 400 meters now to go up towards the line. Fem van Empel is going to go early here for Jumbo-Visma. Marlon Reusser right on the wheel. Fem van Empel looking for that first World Tour victory. Here comes Liana Lippert making a big charge for Movistar. Van Empel, Reusser. Liana Lippert comes through. Lippert takes it for Movistar. Fem van Empel went early there for Jumbo-Visma, and Liana Lippert came through like a rocket to take the stage for Movistar. Reusser on the inside, Lippert takes it. What a sprint.
Spectacular sprint at the end there. So there was a moment there where I thought Fem van Empel might get it. She went very, very early. I thought there's no way she's going to hang on to this, but
they were just not having any of it. Fem van Empel, and even for Fem finishing second here, there's been a lot of pressure on Fem this season coming into the road. She had previously really just ridden the mountain bike and cyclocross, and stage win in Tour de l'Avenir recently in quite a similar finish actually in l'Avenir, and jumping clear here with just over 300 meters to go, getting herself over those climbs. And for Fem, she seems like she's settled into the road this season as it's kind of gone on.
Yeah, well, I think you're right.